Hi guys, I just wanted to give you guys a rundown on what's going on with me and how I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So, as most of you already know, I had a baby boy back in October. I decided with Cameron I was going to breastfeed, but breastfeeding was not for me. Latching did not happen. It just was not going to be the thing. So I vowed to exclusively pump. I have exclusively pumped for 9 months now. I don't know how many people have done pumping, but I absolutely hate it. Can't stand it. I don't like the nipple tug. It's not for me at all. So typically, typical pumping session for me, I get anxiety. I sit here and I'm like this the whole time, like hurry up, the countdown began. I was pumping for 40 minutes per session, and it was the longest 40 minutes most of the time doing this. So here we are in July. Cam is 9 months old. I'm pumping as normal, doing this, and I stumble across a little lump here on my boob. Small little lump, nothing too real, but again, alarming. So I call my husband over. Keith takes a look at it. He feels it. Feels a lump too. Schedule an appointment. It's the first thing he says. So I don't hesitate. Call my doctor immediately. Schedule an appointment. They had me in by the end of the week. I go and see my primary care physician. She takes a look at the lump and she tells me she definitely feels it and she believes that it's just a cyst. It's small, it's hard. I don't know. She says that. Pretty sure it's just a cyst, that it doesn't seem actually alarming. It just seems like a cyst on your breast. That's normal. It happens. If it doesn't bother you, we proceed as normal. If it begins to bother you, then surgery may be an option. She said, but just to be on the safe side, I want to send you for a sonogram to have them look at it to make sure it truly is a cyst. So I had my doctor's appointment with my primary care physician. That was on July 8th. She told me that it may be a cyst. She scheduled me and referred me to go get a sonogram, which I got that done on July 13th. I went to the sonogram appointment. The lady does my sonogram. They have me sit in this little room. I'm sitting there, what felt like forever. She comes back and she's like, okay, the doctor's asking that you also get a mammogram. I never had no mammogram before. Mammograms are not mandatory until you are 40. I'm not 40. I'm only 34. So she said you have to get a mammogram. Okay, cool, fine, let's do this. I squish the boobs because that's where we're at. So I get the mammogram and they go have me sit back in this room again forever. I felt like I sat in that room forever. This was the longest appointment ever. I sit in the room and finally the lady comes back and she's like, well, this is what's going on. When we did your sonogram, we see the mass in your boob. She said that it had some shadowing behind it, which raised some red flags and it's cause for concern. That's why they scheduled the mammogram. She said when we did your mammogram, we didn't see anything. We see nothing on the mammogram whatsoever. So our doctor's been trying to get a hold of your doctor to see what they want to do. So I'm waiting. And finally they come back like, we're not going to make you wait anymore. We're gonna leave it at this and leave everything up to your primary care physician. So I leave that doctor's appointment with no answers, annoyed because they had me sitting there for over an hour trying to figure this out. I get a phone call from a gentleman who says he works in my doctor's office. I've never seen him, never talked to him, and he gives me this whole rundown. He's like, okay, so this is the deal. We seen something in your sonogram, but we seen nothing in your mammogram. So what does that mean? He said, we don't know what it means. And I'm like, and now I'm on the phone like, you don't know? You called me to tell me you don't know. So he's like, we have no idea what that means. So what I want to do is refer you to a breast doctor. So they refer me to a breast specialist. I go and see her on July 16th. And she does another sonogram of my left boob. She feels around, she feels it not. She does the sonogram. Then she does a sonogram on my right for comparison, and she told me that not only did she feel a lump in my left boob, but she also felt one in my right. But she explained to me that they felt different. They were distinctly different in that she felt as though the bump in my right breast was 100% due to breastfeeding. She said it could be a clogged duct, it could be a number of different things, but she said that it happens often in breastfeeding and that this lump was large, but it was squishy and it wasn't hard. So she was not concerned about that at all, but she was concerned about the lump that she not only felt but seen in the sonogram on my left boob. So she said that she wanted me to have a biopsy. So I had that boob appointment was on July 16th. She scheduled me for a biopsy on July 22nd. I went in for that appointment where they did another sonogram, yet again, of my left breast. She did a sonogram of my right breast. She stated she's seen absolutely nothing in my right breast. She could not find what the doctor thought she may have seen. Again, she said it was probably due to me needing to pump. Wasn't really too concerned about that anyway. So they did the sonogram of my left breast. They did a sonogram of my left underarm, and then they did a biopsy. The biopsy was a small incision they put here. They put like this little vacuum thingy in here, and they sucked out whatever they needed to suck out to test. It hurt. That hurt a lot. It hurt for several days after. I felt like I had a small minor surgery. They don't put you under anything. They just numb it, check the cells, and you go on. So my breast doctor had initially told me after the biopsy, it takes about 3 to 4 days to get results. I went in on a Wednesday to get the biopsy. I assumed I would hear from her by Friday. If not Friday, Monday at the latest. But she definitely told me she was going to call with results. So Friday came around, I didn't hear from that lady. Monday came around, I did not hear from her again. Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, I already had a scheduled followed up appointment with her. So I met with her on Wednesday, and I knew the vibe. The moment she walked through that door, I knew the vibe. She walked in. She was not chipper like the first time I met her. She was not barely talking over a whisper. She comes in. She checks my spot where I had the biopsy to make sure I was healing well. And then she takes a deep breath, and above a whisper, she says, now we need to talk about the tough stuff. You tested positive for breast cancer. So, I don't know if y'all watch Charlie Brown, but you know, you watch Charlie Brown and they want. I feel like everything she said to me after that point was kind of like, lady, I'm not registered. I'm still stuck at breast cancer. It's all a fog. I know she drew a picture of a boob on a piece of paper. I know she told me that I was triple positive. I had no idea what that meant. I had to go home and Google it. But she told me I was triple positive. She told me that I would need chemotherapy followed by surgery, and then we'll see if there's a need for radiation. She told me that we will eventually have an MRI to look and make sure that it is isolated, even though I guess they feel as though it's isolated already because I didn't have anything in my underarms. Apparently cancer spreads, and it's one of your underarms is one of the first places it will go if it's in your breast. So immediately my first thought was my babies. I got 2 little boys at home. I need to be here for my 2 little boys. I cannot be sitting here playing with nobody's cancer. No one's. But then I immediately thought, my husband. How am I going to go home and look this man in his face and tell him, babe, I have cancer? My husband already has been fighting cancer enough. And to have to go home and throw that blow and drop that atomic bomb on him was tough. It was absolutely tough. But here we are today. I've done a ton of research. I kind of understand what I'm dealing with. I have been diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma of my left breast. It's triple positive, which means it's estrogen positive, progesterone positive, and HER2 positive. The breakdown that I was given is that the HER2 aspect of the cancer is what concerns the doctors because it makes it an aggressive cancer where it has the tendency to grow and spread rapidly. So the plan was to begin chemo as soon as possible. I have not started yet. It's coming very soon. I will be getting a port placed in very soon. I start chemo 3 days after my port's put in, so it's all coming. It's coming very rapidly. But yeah, the few things that I have learned is that this cancer can grow quick, it can be aggressive, grow fast, spread fast, but I also learned that it can be managed. It can, you know, I think so many of us hear the word cancer and immediately associated with death. I've learned that it does not have to necessarily mean you're gonna die. It doesn't mean I'm going to die. It doesn't mean I'm going to die anytime soon. It's a fight, yes. It's going to be tough, yes. But it's something that we could definitely live with. I can, you know, treat it to where the point where it's probably could be gone forever. It could be gone for a little while. I don't know. But one thing I did learn, and I learned it pretty quick, is that cancer does not mean death. There's treatments the research, everything for cancer has come so far from what it used to be. Like, there's tons of different things. There's tons of different treatment options, post chemo, post everything. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown, kind of let you know what's going on, what I have, try to answer questions if possible, or at least give you a baseline so you can Google and get your own questions answered. I'm in wonderful spirits. I'm not sad anymore. I'm not angry. It is what it is. Things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. You may not like the reason. You may not know the reason, but it's a reason. There is a reason that I was chosen to have this disease. It's a reason why I'm as you know, there's a reason why I'm taking it as well as I am. There's a reason for everything. Like I said, my spirits are high. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. If you know me, I'm with it. Let's go. Let's go. The mitts are on. Let's go, Cancer. We got this. I'm gonna keep a very positive attitude through this whole thing. One of my other appointments I've had since I've been diagnosed, I met with my whole care team. My care team consisted of a radiologist, an oncologist. I met with a social worker. I met with a self-care doctor. I met with tons of different people. And my self-care doctor, one of the things that he wanted to emphasize is that diet and exercise is very important. As you guys already know, I've already been on this wave of walking, and I was already beginning to change my diet. I had already made changes. I have not had a piece of candy in over a month, and candy is my ish. I love me some candy. Have not had any candy in over a month, and this was before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. These were already life changes that were already in the works. And after talking to my self-care doctor, he pretty much emphasized that we need to continue that. So one of the goals that he did have for me was 7 hours of cardio a week. So I do try to walk for at least an hour every day. Do I do it every day? Absolutely not. And will I be able to once I start chemo? Probably not. But I will continue to try. Another thing was less sugar. One thing that I have learned in research as well as from the self-care doctor is that cancer feeds off of sugar. It can grow, it can get bigger just from sugar intake. So I have completely cut sugar out of my diet altogether. I don't do cake, I don't do cookies, I'm not doing anything. I am the biggest sugarhead. This has been very tough, but I'm doing it. And thankfully, my husband has been my ride or die, and he's doing it right alongside me. So, it's a family life change. I'm very positive and optimistic in the fact that I'm not only going to beat cancer, but I'm going to come out of this 1,000 times better than I was before I went in. I'm going to come out feeling better, looking better. Everything is just going to be better. And maybe that was the reason for this disease, to get, hey, little girl, get your life together. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm ready for this. I think my biggest fear in all of this, to be completely honest, is losing my eyebrows and eyelashes. I'm okay with the hair. I'm okay with shaving my hair tomorrow. I'm all right with rocking a bald head. I don't mind. I'll rock a wig. But my eyebrows and eyelashes, y'all, that's going to be tough. That is going to be very tough. I think everything else I'm ready. I know it's not going to be easy. I'm in groups. I read up a lot of stuff. The side effects of chemotherapy can be tough. I think if you go in with a positive mindset and you go in with a fighter's mentality, I think things may be okay. I have an amazing support system behind me between my husband, my parents, my brother. I have an awesome support system. I know that I'm not in this fight by myself. I think I will be okay. I will be all right. Again, thank you all for listening. I am here. If you have questions, ask. I'm learning. We can all learn together. Ladies, it is imperative that you check your body. You need to know your body. Self-check. You have to self-check. You cannot depend on a doctor to do it for you. Make sure you're doing your self-checks. Very important. Know your body. Know when something is off. I've learned that there are so many small symptoms that kind of were maybe a hint that, hey, something's not right. Like my skin has been breaking out. My skin breaks out horribly. And that could have been all along my body trying to tell me, like, girl, something going on. You need to figure this out. So know your body, pay attention to your body, and make sure you're doing your monthly self-checks, because ain't nobody gonna look out for you like you can look out for you. And you need to put your health above all. Again, thank y'all for listening.